that, getting hit multiple times. Coming out of that bike section, more drivers coming to blows.
Greetings, race fans, and buckle up for tonight's coverage of Sim Racers Group Formula 3 on SMB. Gregory here with you on the call alongside Dylan Hundy Coyle and Magic Mike Braun. And week 11 of this season has arrived and takes us to the UK. And when you hear Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, Stowe, Vale, and Cops, you know that we are at Silverstone. This track is a converted World War II airfield, much like Sebring Stateside. Racing started here in 1947, and in the almost 80 years since then has hosted the World Endurance Championship, World Touring Car Championship, European Le Mans Series, and of course currently host to Formula One, British Touring Cars, and Grand Prix motorcycles. Today's configuration, and go ahead and look this up on Wikipedia. There is about 20 configurations of this track over the last 75 years. This is the Bridge Grand Prix circuit that was active from 1997 to 2010. It's listed as legacy content on iRacing, but this configuration, 3.2 miles, 5.1 clicks, 17 corners, and you have to go back to 2004. Schumi in a Ferrari Formula One car set the record on this configuration. It was a 118.739. And Dylan, there are some very, very difficult combinations on this track, much harder than it looks on paper. And I'm going to say it is an absolute requirement. You have got to nail your exits out of Chapel and Luffield, to state the obvious. Otherwise, you're a sitting duck. But what are you looking for out of these cars and drivers tonight?
Yeah, this track, this layout in particular, hot take, I kind of like it more than the layout that has been in use for the last decade plus. It might not be as great for Formula One when it comes to high downforce cars through some of the corners that they have kind of removed, taken out some of the straightaways, but especially through that bridge section, right, where instead of kind of going on that right-hand turn into the old, or I should say the current front stretch, you kind of don't go there at all. You go through that bridge, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15 brings you back onto the circuit we all know today into Luffield. I love this version. It really keeps you on high alert because there's a little bit of elevation change. There's a lot of sweeping, quick corners, a lot of lefts and rights quickly in succession. Those would be called chicanes. And it will be a fun challenge for these drivers today as this F3 series, it's almost over for this season.
Yeah, incredibly, we've reached week 11 and pretty good schedule this season. These cars perform very, very well on Formula One circuits that are obviously designed for high downforce, high mechanical grip, and these F3 cars have plenty of that. And I'm going to go out on a limb and agree with you on this layout. I do actually really like this layout. It omits that infield section that really kind of contained a couple of the more annoying corners on the course, and Silverstone notorious for tire wear, and that infield section was an area that was just a constant kind of brutal grind on the front tires. So the drivers getting a break from that, and I think getting a more kind of natural flowing Silverstone experience out here on this 2009 version, as it's termed in your iRacing track listing. But qualifying winding down now. We have about 2 minutes before we get underway. And remember, 2 races tonight on Slow Motion Broadcasting. We'll start with a 15-minute heat, which will set the stage for a 40-minute feature with the top 6 inverted of the heat race. And up top qualifying right now, the usual suspects, Stephen Case in P1 and has just got a on Josh Leslie sitting in P2. You see that 0.011 1,000th of a second back to Leslie. Max Lotto up there as well. Green, De Silva, Corwin, McDonald, Chris Eggert, Cotcher, and Poborgi rounding out the top 10. And kind of a light turnout here, Dylan. I'm a little bit surprised that the drivers aren't taking advantage of the opportunity to flog these F3 cars around Silverstone. Only 17 uncharacteristically broad range of lap times out there. I like to look at the 1 minute bracket, and there's only 7 cars in that. 0.7 separate the top 7 cars, and then we get all the way to 4 seconds off pace there in P17 by Brashear. So week 11, I guess it happens, and we could see more of the same on week 12. But, this is a great car track combination, and regardless of the size of the field, I think we're going to get a couple of good races here tonight.
I like how we can look at the time chart right now and really categorize some of these drivers and their times so far. You've got the top 3, obviously fastest throughout anybody else. Jason Green, I would say, probably goes into that second category along with De Silva, Corwin, and McDonald, all within a few tenths of each other, within 1/10 if we're talking about 5th on back to 7th. Then you've got from 8th on down to 12th, all the drivers 3/10 away from each other. Christopher Eggert, Jason Cotcher, Danush Poborgi, Adrian Lopez, and Jose Navas. Pretty much you get those 2-second range with Mikovits, Velasco, and Guyton. You got everybody else. And I'll let you go through the exact order I just talked about because qualifying has ended.
Yeah, we're going to get that grid up for you right now, actually. But I guess the standing out like a sore thumb in that timing tower that we were just looking at is Mikovits at P13. So Mikovits lingering around at the top of the season standings, which we'll show you later, but coming out flat the last couple, and a little bit surprised to see that. But in any event, here is the grid for your heat race. It is Stephen Case next to Josh Leslie, then Lynn Lotto will line up next to Jason Green in row 2, then De Silva next to Joshua Corwin. James McDonald will line up next to Eggert in row 4. Then Cotcher next to Danush Paborji to round out the top 10. Then it's Adrian Lopez next to Jose Navas in row 6. The aforementioned Kalen Mikovits there in 13 next to Velasco. Then it's Jacob Guyton next to Diego Posada. Thomas Brashear next to Kulkaran Dillon there in row 9. So about to get this one underway. You see Case right there. And let me see if I can orient myself ×3 here. We are on the old pit straight right now into Cops. Is that where we're starting? Holy cow! So
yes, sir. This was the old this was the old start finish straight. I know from my time playing F1 2010 a lot because this version was in that game.
Yeah, so this is the classic start-finish straight. The pits that you see on the left side of your screen there no longer used. They've moved those pits over to the another part of the track in the infield. But here we go. So Case is going to have the inside run into Cops. Very difficult corner. We're going to be talking about that. It takes a lot of commitment and a lot of precision to hit that one right. And side by side can lead to all kinds of drama. You can ask Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton about that, if you recall that from a couple years ago. But we're going to get this one underway here in just a second, and fully expecting Case to get off clean and lead the field into Cops here for the first time. Then we'll go through Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, and onto that hangar straight for the first time. So many classic moments have taken place over the years on this track, and let's weave some new memories here right now as we're underway in Formula 3. Case gets off clean. It's Case from Leslie from Lynn Lotto. De Silva is going to sneak past Jason Green. Green fighting back a little bit, though. It's going to be side by side for those two through Cops, and a little bit of a wide line there by Leslie, and you got to be careful right there. You can definitely get a slowdown right there, and Stephen Case already driving off a 0.7 gap after just a handful of corners.
Well, that gap, it's not too surprising, right? When you are the leading car going through some higher speed corners, even with cars that don't generate as much aerodynamic downforce as, say, Formula 1 cars, you're still going to throw some dirty air in behind you, and you should benefit. Now, a really solid job from Josh Leslie to kind of crawl back that disadvantage he had gotten when he went through Maggots, Beckett's, and then up to Chapel in this straightaway. Now, here's where we start to see some differences in the layout as we see Lynn Lotto. Oh, man, come on, Max.
Lynn Lotto off-roading there, four-wheel repeatedly. 4 wheels off the ground right there as he overcooks the entry to that. Gosh, where was that going on? That must have been the Vale there, heading into the club corner. But Lynn Lotto four-wheeling it there, and something has happened. Jacob Guyton fans and Novice fans hanging their heads right now. Guyton has stuffed it, taken a tow, and Novice is way off the pace. He's 4 seconds out of DFL in it and down 5 positions. So something happened between those two. We'll see what. And gosh, was it a bad re-entry somewhere right there? And interesting. Might have caught the tail end of that. That is Novice driving, kind of recovering. Maybe they weren't involved in the same incident. Something different must have happened to Guyton. We'll see if we can find that for you. And whoop, there's somebody off. Jason Green turns it. Green had something going there, dropping like a stone down the timing tower, and that is going to put De Silva, Corwin, Eggert, Paborji all up. Paborji charging hard right now. There's a replay of Green kind of over-rotating right there, and is that over-rotation out of Cops corner? Very, very tough. You're flirting with the AstroTurf on exit there, bouncing over the curb, and you overcooked that one. So easy to turn it, and that one claims Green. Green takes over DFL from Jose Navas.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate moment for Jason Green, who qualified inside the couple first few rows. So he'll try and claw that back. It's just going to be a very hard task to get into that top 6 for the invert, because remember, the top 6 do an invert when we get to the feature race. Case still 7/10, now 6/10 ahead of Josh Leslie. Tyrone De Silva, we're watching his times right now and where he stands. And look at this, back in 10th place. We've got some battling for 9th. It's Adrian Lopez as well as Kalen Mikovits. Oh, what a beautiful move by Mikovits. Can he protect down into this corner? Yes, he can. Solid.
And Mikovits heard me slandering his performance there in qualifying, and he says, you know what, JR, I can make up about 5 positions in the first 3 minutes. He's done that, up 4 rather, into P9. So Mikovits lighting the wick here. He's got about a second gap forward to McDonald, who is dealing with Max Lindlato and Poborgy up there. But a lot of shuffling here early. Cars going in both directions here. You can see the positions lost and gained there on our SDK timing tower. A lot of movement in that top 10 right now. Poborgy charging up into that P6. And I'll tell you what, man, how many times in this season, the first season of the inverted grid, I think we have seen Poborgy place himself in that magical P6 spot a couple of times now, and he's looking pretty good for it right now, although he will be getting pressure from behind from Max Lindlato, only a 7/10 gap there.
We're hearing that Jose Navas has had another incident. This time he got way off track, got into the grass, went for a little bit of a spin. So that's 2 incidents for Navas in this sprint race. Going to use it as a learning lesson, a bit of that before we get to that feature race. Jose Navas, no damage. That's the good thing. And we're watching Max Lindlato, and he was phenomenal in the F4 race yesterday on slow motion broadcasting with SRG. Absolutely fantastic. And he did well last week, and I wasn't here to commentate in the F3 race, that he did very well. He's already spun out, obviously, after having a starting spot in the top 3 here today. And he won, I think, officially, or unofficially by my numbers, the championship in F4 action as he looks down the inside, heading into Copse, thinking about a move. But I asked him if he was going to be in the race today, and we had a good chuckle on the broadcast about all the time whenever I talk about him. Whenever he is on the screen, he has a mistake. And good job so far, Max. Really solid job.
Yeah, and Lindlato fans will know that anytime Max Lindlato's name is uttered by Dylan Coyle, catastrophe follows, especially when that sentence includes his performance in last night's Formula 4 race. So Lindlato fans, get ready in the garage.
Yeah,
that
prep.
car is about to come back on a flatbed. But in any event, up front, we've got about 9 minutes remaining. It is Case from Leslie, from De Silva, Corwin, Eggert, and Poborgy. And look at all those movers there in the top 6. That is, gosh, I'm not that great at math, but positions 3 through 6 have moved up a combined 11 positions due to some kerfuffleage here early. And so far, Poborgy still hanging on to that magic spot in P6. But you got to think that Max Lindlato is going to have a crack at the pole position in the future if he can get by Poborgy. Although, credit to Poborgy, he is a stout defender. But you see Lindlato reeling him in right there. He's got that gap down to about 2/10, sniffing around sniffing all around there behind Poborgy. And I think he wants at least P6, if not more, and plenty of time to get something done here.
I'll be honest, you might not be good with math, but it's a good thing the math is shown up on the screen. I know you're good at reading words on a screen and numbers, and that's exactly what you're doing. I'm very, very proud of you.
Well, I did have to add 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2, and you know.
No, that's difficult. No,
If I was good at math, it would have been med school, but we know how that turned out. But in any event,
wait, look at that. Really a little bit of understeer through Maggots and Beckett's in this run up the hill. They're going to go side by side.
Yeah, and what did I tell you? You must have a good exit out of Chapel on every lap. Otherwise, you're a sitting duck. But Poborgy, very good on the brakes right there, though. Holy cow. It looked like Lindlato had him absolutely smoked. But Poborgy winning the battle of the late breakers on the outside to hold off Lindlato this time. But only halfway through this one, Lindlato with plenty of time left, and may have been testing Poborgy right there to see what would happen. And by the way, we have not forgotten, it's not just about Poborgy and Lindlato right here. James McDonald is right there as well. He is in the popcorn seat watching this battle ahead, and he'll be there to pounce if anything goes sideways between those two drivers.
Yeah, Poborgy is genuinely trying to hold on to this position, but Max Lindlato is making it difficult. Oh, this is going to be a really tough time for Poborgi to hold on to that spot. Did a pretty admirable job of getting right back in front, but had that rear way bent out of shape as they go down the front stretch right here, heading into Copse. This is not going to be a comfortable position for either of these drivers. Hamilton, Verstappen, we don't have a repeat. We have two drivers being very clean and keeping it green on track.
Yeah, some great respectful driving by both of them. They tested the Verstappen versus Hamilton maneuver there into Copse, pulled it off side by side, and amazingly, McDonald not able to crank him down during that little fight. McDonald might have backed out of it, sensing that he was going to be driving into a collision. And here we go, side by side one more time, down the hanger straight into Stowe Corner. And this time it is Lindlato on the outside line that Poborgi made work for him on the last lap. That is going to give Lindlato the advantage on the upcoming left-hander. And it looks like Lindlato's got it done, but no, Poborgi fights back, stuffs it down the inside, side by side, and Poborgi, Lindlato, McDonald there in the background. Holy cow, I told you there's going to be great racing in Silverstone.
Oh, it's phenomenal stuff as they go through the bridge section. A switchback to the left side here as they go down into this slower turn. 11, I should say, before getting into 12. They go downhill underneath the bridge, and this corner, this section of corners is very difficult to get right if you're going into attack mode. But look at this train of cars, 5, 6 cars, all fighting to try and be in the top 6, or I should say, yeah, in the top 6, in 6th position. Remember, I said you had these sects of drivers who had very similar lap times. And not only is this for 6th place, this is to be on the pole position in the feature.
Absolutely, and you see some peeking there in the back. That was Mikovits looking on the inside of Lopez. And with all due respect to the other 18 cars on the track, there is nothing going on like what is going on right now between Poborgi and Lindlato. That gap still hovering around 0.3. And there goes Poborgi. Oh my goodness, with the deluxe commentator's curse and camera shy there by Poborgi plummeting down the order. He's going to be down in P11 now, with Velasco having a crack to push him down into P12. And look at Lindlato sitting pretty. He's got a 5-second gap ahead to Christopher Eggert, but you know what? He does not care. He is going to be in pole position in the feature if he can hang on. He's got McDonald behind him about a 0.8, and actually a little train for me. McDonald, Lopez, Mikovits, Cotcher, all of those intervals painted by yellow or orange on our timing tower there. But the enemy right now of McDonald and everybody else trying to push Lindlato out of that P6 is time, Dylan. 3.5 minutes remaining.
Genuinely, this is a great position to be in for training for a full season next time that we do have the green flag at the drop of race number 1 in SRG F3. This is the penultimate race of this season, of this schedule for SRG F3. And if you're able to hold off drivers in behind, that's a massive deal. Let's look at a replay here. Adrian Lopez got into a bit of an incident right there. Was that a squeeze? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, that looked a little net Cody to me. I might have to see another angle of that, but yeah, I don't know. And here asking you shall receive. Here comes another angle riding along with Mikovits, goes down the inside. And yeah, I'm going to say that Lopez turned in on him there. It was a bit of a dive by Mikovits, but frankly, he had the position, and Lopez had to know that he was right there. He's watching his relative, saw that gap go down to less than 0, and a little bit of contact right there. And you know, there's a lot of gentlemen in this league, and I'm sure those two will work it out. But Mikovits driving hard here, and that is going to put him up 5 positions. Remember, he qualified in P13 and is scratching his way toward the top. And, you know, even when Mikovits doesn't turn in a great qualifying, he definitely shows his racecraft and is able to get moves done and move up the standings, which he has done. So 2 minutes remaining now. It's Case from Leslie, and Case doing a great job, by the way, managing that gap behind Leslie. It's been hovering 0.5, 0.6 for the majority of this race. Leslie just unable to reel him in, and most of that action that we have seen so far was between Lynn Lotto and Poborgi until Poborgi lost it there on a little spin. But here comes Case, may get the white flag this time. Yeah, I think I saw a flash of white there from Barney. So this is the white flag lap right here. Leslie has closed that gap down a little bit, though. Look at that. It's down to 0.3 now, coming into the chicanery section that Dylan mentioned, and then hanger straight. So can Leslie make something happen here into Stowe Corner on the last lap?
Yeah, it's going to be a massive question if that slipstream. It's all about the drive off here out of Chapel, up the hanger straight, and now down it as they go into Stowe. Oh, my goodness. This is some good action here. The question is, if you're able to keep in pace, keep in tow as you go around that club corner and the Vale, right? 8, 9, and 10. You have a run down that straightaway. It's the longest straightaway remaining after right here. That's all you can hope for, as we see Max Lynn Lotto as well under pressure from James McDonald. Will he be able to hold him off?
Yeah, great stuff here down the stretch, and I was a little disappointed by the car count out here, but I told you that even with 17 cars, you were going to see some great racing here on Slow Motion Broadcasting from these drivers from Sim Racers Group, and they have absolutely delivered, and this is only the first of 2 races that we're going to have tonight on Slow Motion Broadcasting. So fantastic stuff as Case is making his way towards start-finish here for the last time onto the old classic pit straight here. And yes, Case is going to take this one by 7/10, and then it's going to be Leslie De Silva, Corwin Eggert, and it looks like Lynn Lotto is going to hang on for that P6. He's down 3 positions from his qualifying position, but he may have lost those 3 positions with a smile on his face. He was able to claw his way back up into P6, and Lynn Lotto is going to have the pole for your feature.
Impressive stuff, Max Lynn Lotto. We'll see what you're able to do in the feature race. Alex Velasco, quite a interesting set of results here from drivers I expected a little bit more of, I'd say, in this race. Velasco has had a solid season up to this point, but being outside the top 10, uncharacteristic. Jose Navas, fast in F4 action, has had some good results here in F3 action, did not show it here in this one. Coker and Dillon still needs to finish the lap, and had a little bit of a spin right there going through Luffield, the penultimate corner. And he's just warming the tires up, having a good time. He knows he's on the broadcast. Let's see if he's going to loop it around here for us one more time over the line. Nope.
Yeah, as long as he keeps upshifting here, I'll be satisfied. And yeah, Dylan is going to go ahead and take the checker. That's our last car across. So we're going to head into a warm-up session right now, folks, and take a breath if you need one as much as I do. We're going to have your season points for you in both individual and teams. But if you need to run to the fridge, take a bio break, now is the time. And speaking of those championship standings, there they are. It is Stephen Case way out front. That is an 83-point gap back to Josh Leslie. Leslie running out of time. It looks like Case is going to win another one here. Leslie has gotten past Mikovits. Mikovits had bad luck a couple weeks in a row and has fallen down into P3. He had been threatening Case earlier in the season and could not close the deal down the stretch. Then is Poborgi, Green, Eggert, De Silva, Velasca, Cotcher, and Josh Corwin is going to round out your top 10 in the individual standings. I'll let you spin through the rest of that huge field on your own, and then we'll go ahead and spool up your team points for you in just a moment. Cue the Jeopardy song. Tune, tune. All right, and there they are. That is the La Silva Racing Team, and folks, that is notable. That this is the first time that Stephen Case's team, the L10 team, is not going to take the title. I mean, it's mathematically, they're mathematically alive, but it looks like Josh Leslie and De Silva are going to take that. That is the La Silva team. Then L10 is Case and Van Wagner. K Wang in P3 is Mikovits and Wang. The Green Duval, I'll make you guess the names of those drivers. And then A squared, that's Velasco and Lopez, by virtue of a strong performance last week, have passed Egden, moved up into the top 5. And there be the rest of your championship standings. But holy cow. And I've got one question for you, Dylan. We talk about the tire witching hour, and usually that happens about 30 minutes into a 40-minute race. And, my lion eyes might be deceiving me, but I'm kind of feeling like I saw some hot tires causing problems for people after only 15 minutes in that heat race. Silverstone, notorious for being hard on rubber. And what are we going to be seeing in the future?
I disagree. And the only reason I disagree with what your eyes are telling your brain is that it's 76 degrees Fahrenheit on track. Now, we have seen temperatures go way higher over the course of this feature race. My question really comes down to how much will it rise, and will it really, really affect the drivers in a large way? Personally, I don't know if it would be fair to call it a tire witching hour, maybe a tire, a lack of comfort hour. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's that big of a... It feels like too big of a reach to say that this track... in these conditions specifically, would make it a tire witching hour. I don't know. Are you following? Am I explaining correctly?
I think I'm feeling you that we're going to see a tire mild to moderate discomfort session later. And yeah, I don't have a lot of seat time in these F3 cars. I'm mostly a GT3
Is that
guy,
R2D2?
it is. That is the James McDonald great eye, brand new R2D2 livery. I know that he's pretty happy with it, so we'll let you take a look at McDonald in that R2D2 livery, doing a little lawn mowing there on his warm-up lap. But yeah, as a GT3 driver, Dylan, I got to say that this track has, in my experience, been very, very hard on tires, particularly the fronts. But that could be my driving. GT3 cars, obviously, less downforce, a lot more weight, and similar or higher terminal velocity, so they're kind of naturally harder on the rubber. But be interesting to see how it pans out here down the stretch. We got about a minute remaining here in warm-up. We're going to get the starting grid for you for this feature race. And as we said, Max Linlado has achieved the pole here. And I got to tell you, for the drivers behind Linlado, I don't envy them making that pass. Linlado, a pretty stout defender here. So it'll be quite a challenge for him to hold off the likes of Josh Leslie, Stephen Case, and the rest down the stretch here over 40 minutes, and see if he's up to the task.
It's going to be quite interesting to see if you or myself will be the one that will talk in the first lap. It's going to be you. I just don't know if I'm going to follow you just in case. Just in case. I don't want to see Max Linlado have an incident and have it be blamed on me. I'd like you to at least share a little bit of the blame.
I gotcha. Well, what I'll do is I will just call him Car 12 and see if that can interfere with the Zeus's bolt of doom that seemed to rain down on Linlado anytime his name is mentioned. So Car 12 is going to have the pole. We're going to have that starting grid for you right now. And there it is. Car 12 will be on the pole next to Christopher Eggert. Then it's Josh Corwin next to Tyrone De Silva in row 2. Leslie will line up next to Stephen Case in row 6. And I have got 10 quid that say that Case is going to finish this one in P1. James McDonald next to Adrian Lopez. Mikovits will line up next to Cotcher. That'll get you to top 10. Then is Alex Velasco next to Danush Borgi in row 6. Then Jason Green will line up next to Brashear in 13 and 14. Jose Navas next to Diego Posada in 15 and 16. Then Colquhoun Dillon and Jacob Guyton of the L10 racing team there in P18. Very rough start for Guyton. Had an incident early and ended up taking a tow, and he has got pace, Guyton, but has got his work cut out for him. Taking a look right now at that car 12 on the pole position. We'll have the inside run into Cops, and it looks like Yep, here come the lights. We are about to get this one underway. Buckle in, folks. Buckle up. Hang on. If you thought that heat race was hot, here we go for our feature. And I got to say that Eggert got a pretty good jump there. Lotto blows the start. Eggert is going to have a chance here around the outside of Copps. Can he seal the deal? And meanwhile, Corwin sniffing around behind Lotto as well. Eggert pushing on that entry into the... into the chicanery there. And Lotto hangs on. It is Lotto from Eggert, from Corwin, from De Silva.
Case is off.
And Case has gone off. Unbelievable. Case has crashed out a couple times. He is... Stephen Case is DFL in it. If you were new to race lingo, DFL stands for definitely far from the lead. So does Lotto from Eggert, from Corwin. Josh Leslie up one position. De Silva down one, and James McDonald in P6, and this one getting just as crazy a start as the first race, Dylan. Holy cow.
Yeah, wow, that is a wild start. I actually thought when we were going through Beckett's actually that Christopher Eggert and Josh Corwin almost would make contact. That did not happen, but they've opened the door up for another opportunity to make contact going through the bridge section. They are side by side for second. Lotto likes to see this in this left-right-hand chicane through 11 and 12, and the position is Joshua Corwin's.
And Corwin, as they would say in the UK, with the brass. He had the brass. Sticks it around the outside. Is going to snatch away P2 from Christopher Eggert. Holy cow, great driving by Corwin. And you're right, Lotto absolutely cackling at his relative right now. He's driven off to almost a 2-second gap.
Let's look at what happened to Stephen Case in the opening sector of this race. And... was there contact?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, there was some massive contact. Car in red, I believe, could not quite tell who it was that got into him, but that was a pretty violent-looking incident.
Yeah, that was rough. That may have been De Silva here, and maybe Mike can use some of his magic buttons to reel that down for us, but Case getting hard contact, absolutely punted there.
Yeah.
And that is going to earn somebody a trip to the principal's office and championship implications there. As I said, that L10 team of Case and Guyton had a crack at moving up into P1, but Guyton's troubles in the heat race was Adrian Lopez. There you go. Mike subtly pointing out the guilty party in the 007 car leaves Case shaken and stirred, punted off into the grass, and Lopez is going to get a trip to the principal's office for that for sure. And meanwhile, up front is Lotto from Corwin, Eggert, Leslie, and De Silva rounding out the top 5. And look at that timing tower, folks. We are nose to tail from P2 all the way down to P15. That's what those colored intervals mean. If it is orange, it's less than half a second. If it's yellow, it's between a second and half a second. And these cars are stacked up. They are feeling racy here early. And that timer showing 25 I was saying 40 before. I'm not sure why, but we're 3 minutes now.
Yeah, I heard that. Race. I thought it was like a hypothetical situation.
Yeah, well, we're in the UK, so that is metric time. Whoa. Actually, but I'll stick with English as Mikovits getting a little bit squirrely there. That's Mikovits coming out of Luffield. Very, very tough there at Luffield. And if you roast the tires like that lap after lap, those tires are not going to last. We talked about the tire witching hour and had a little disagreement about it. We'll see what happens down the stretch. But Lotto driving away right now, and that top 3 breaking up a little bit as well. Lotto about 2.5 seconds to Corwin, and now Corwin has dropped Eggert to the tune of 1.5 seconds. So these front drivers are loving how this one is unfolding early.
Yeah, Max Lotto, his best finishing position so far. It was tied last week. It was 3rd. Tyrone De Silva now trying to go down into P5. I think he got that quite handedly there. Mikovits, Josh Leslie, James McDonald, they're all in this kind of gong show of a collection of drivers here. I mean, I would say 2/3 of the field are compressed under a couple California king-size blankets there.
Yeah, 2 right. And Mikovits, again, is clawing his way up the field. He had big gains in the heat. He's already up 3 here in the future up into P6 with over 20 minutes remaining. Mikovits has the pace, has the racecraft, puts in the time. And Mikovits fans right now are looking at what he's doing and cheering him forward. And I'm going to say that Mikovits has a crack at the podium right now. I'm going to go out on a limb, but he's got plenty of time. If he can keep it clean, keep driving as he has been, we may see him regain his podium form. He has not been up on the podium since Miami, and needs to make something happen if he's going to get back past Josh Leslie into P2 on the season.
Looking through some of the lap times here, and I gotta give kudos. Max Linlado, obviously he's the only one with just clean air in front of him, but he's also set the fastest lap of this race by over 1/10 of a second. Actually, only 2 drivers have set lap times within the 1-minute 39-second range. He and Josh Leslie, who are watching right now in this very drastic battle for the podium, down the inside around Christopher Eggert, and he made it look easy there, but Eggert's going to try and fight back on the outside before they run to the chicane here.
Yeah, Leslie with some significant pace. Leslie has about a half second on Eggert and everybody else around him. So if somebody is going to have a crack at Corwin and Linlado within the next 19 minutes, it is Josh Leslie, and he has absolutely lit the wick. He's only about a little over a 10. Whoa, and that, who went off there? That is Eggert. Eggert severely lawn mowing there. Not sure what happened. He's going through the club corner and went way off. Not sure if he had help, and maybe Mike can help us out, see what happened to Eggert. That is him in the classic Valvoline livery, and doink. And wait a minute, I might have to see that one more time. Was that Leslie moving over on him there? I don't know.
I have like 2 separate thoughts here. It is moving in the braking zone. Eggert is not side by side here. No, Ooh. No way. No, Eggert just went into the back of him there.
Yeah, that was very close. But yeah, I think that is probably a racing incident. A little bit abrupt there by Josh moving to the right there in the braking zone. But Eggert nowhere near position there. Should have backed out of it and paying the price. That's going to drop Eggert 11 positions all the way down into unlucky 13. And Eggert had something going there. I know his fans are moaning over that incident right there. You saw the end plate damage at a minimum, if not suspension damage. So Eggert is just circling the drain right now in terms of this race. And my goodness, look up front. We're going to take a quick look here. That is, that is Lopez and Poborgi fighting it out right there. But take a look at Max Linlado on an English track day. Kind of reminds me of Lewis Hamilton on a rainy day at Silverstone, driving away 4.5 seconds now, has set a 1:39.142. And we may see Linlado in the 1:38 before this one is over. Linlado feeling it. And oh my gosh, I mentioned his name, Car 12, I should have said. We have seen him struggle with
him all the time.
Struggle with consistency. Has Max, but we'll see if he can hang on for the next 17 minutes. But right now, absolutely driving away. Corwin doing a pretty good job maintaining that gap behind to Leslie is about 2 seconds right now. So the top driver is driving away, and there is Poborgi. He is in a train with Jason Green, Jason Cotcher, and Velasco. That is for P8, and that is about the tightest action we have on the track right now. And shout out to Jason Green. We saw him crash out, have a problem in the heat, and he has fought his way back into P8. And no surprise there, Green, the highest rated driver on the grid, sitting at a kind of gaudy 4.2 I rating. So definitely expecting some pace out of him in order to maintain an I rating like that. So Green getting his work done here with about, 16 minutes remaining.
Doing a phenomenal job right here of just kind of being a part of this battle. It's so difficult, right? Because the moment you go for an attack, you open yourself up for a move from behind. And if you're in the middle portion of this group of drivers we're currently watching, that's exactly what may happen. Jason Cotcher really doing a good job, though, of chasing down Danush Poborgi. Cotcher, he's the only one besides Tyrone De Silva and Max Linlado in the top 10. Who have not gained positions in this race. A lot of drivers have gained spots, at least one. They're doing an admirable job. Obviously, some of it is helped by drivers like Eggert and Case going off track, but when you've got drivers in the green, in the top 10, it always showcases the talent. I think that you don't always get to see in these quicker races. And look at this, the large radii of these turns and just how long they seem to go on for really opens up the door for some interesting defensive maneuvers.
Holy cow. And if you had radii on your bingo card, go ahead and drop
Ding,
me
ding,
a
ding.
message in YouTube, because you have won tonight's Sim Racer Group F3 bingo. Radii is the word of the day, but absolutely there are some legit passes going on out there. Eggert and Case dropping 12 positions each has certainly handed out a couple of freebies, but the likes of Mikovits up 4, Jason Green up 3, Poborji up 3, you know that there are some legit passes involved in that kind of movement here at Silverstone. And 10 minutes in, the racing, again, with kind of a short field, has been fantastic. Taking a look at Mikovits now. Mikovits having a little bit of a train forming behind him. That is Mikovits from McDonald, Lopez, Green, and Poborji all involved there, wanting a piece of Mikovits for that P5. So Mikovits has about a 2.5 second gap ahead to De Silva. He would like to close down, but he's got to keep his eyes behind him as well. He's got some hungry drivers chasing him down.
It's both a nice prospect, right? Seeing all the drivers who right now are slower than you, technically, no matter what, on track being behind you. But then you also think about the fact that there's a lot of them, and one slip up from you means a ton of positions lost. Even more so for James McDonald. James McDonald currently has 3 drivers within a second of him, practically. Hair-raising, I'll tell you what. It's a nerve-wracking feeling. But it's also a nice feeling. And my goodness, that is a heck of a helmet design, too. I'm a Star Wars fan. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, and speaking of missteps, Josh Corwin, a major misstep on that lap. I was watching that gap fall between him and Josh Leslie. He had about a second and a half on Leslie somewhere in that lap. Corwin with the bobble, and Leslie chased him down and made that pass. So it is now Lynn Lotto from Leslie from Corwin, and Mike is going to show you the move right now. And look at that draft. Go to work down the old pit straight into Cops. A little... Actually, wow. Corwin passes on the side-by-side there. Could have stuck with it, but decided to let Leslie through and live to fight another day. But Leslie has secured that top 2. And the question now, can he pull off the miracle? We are at exactly the halfway point here, about 12 and a half minutes into a 25-minute event. And that gap is just under 7 minutes, and Lynn Lotto has not been slowing down. He turned in the fastest lap last time, 1:39.097. Leslie with a 1:39.2. So Lynn Lotto with about a 0.2 advantage on that lap alone. And Leslie may just kind of settle in, take his points for P2 because Lynn Lotto is feeling it right now.
Lynn Lotto still has time to make a mistake. I just need you to know, Max, don't do it. Even though we're talking about it. Don't do it.
I can't believe you said that. I cannot believe you said that.
I'm just saying, I feel like if you got to go... Listen, scared money don't make money. And when I say that, I mean, if we're going to exercise these demons, it has to happen with us directly calling to them and saying, you want a piece of me? And if they do, and then we defeat them. That's what matters. It changes things.
You know how you exercise a demon? On a dreadmill. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. But in any event, it is Lynn Lotto from Leslie, and that gap, I think, is growing a little bit, about 7.5 seconds. And Leslie now has not quite gotten away from Corwin and Tyrone De Silva. Those 3 cars covered by about 1 second. Mikovits as well, leading a substantial train here. And this track not exactly defined by straightaways, but there are a couple of pretty long ones here that will get those cars kind of sucked together, rubber band them together. So kind of hard to get away, even if you have pace. race. And that is something that Mikovits and Leslie are both discovering right now. But as I say that, Mikovits has broken free of James McDonald. That gap now over a second, and may give Mikovits an opportunity now to reel in Tyrone De Silva. That's about a 1.3 second gap ahead to De Silva, who is fighting Corwin. So Mikovits still has a chance here. About 10 minutes remaining, and 10 minutes remaining is the minor tire discomfort hour, as coined by my colleague Dylan Coyle here. So keep an eye on tire wear. Watch out for these cars washing out on entry and having a hard time putting the power down, because I'm here to tell you, Silverstone eats tires.
Absolutely, it does. I don't know, man. The temps have gone down 100%. It eats tires, but the temp has gone down 4.5 degrees pretty much Fahrenheit. So I don't know. I am skeptical. Why are you giggling? Why are you giggling?
I just my head is spinning with how you reverse yourself there, that Silverstone eats tires. But whatever, I'm going to take that as a win. And meanwhile, there's racing going on as Lopez sticks it down the inside of McDonald through Copse. McDonald still trying to fight back, and the classic situation at Silverstone, you beat your man on the inside of Copse, and he has the inside on the next corner, and the fight goes on. And Poborgi, when he sees a crack of daylight, that F3 car is going through there. Poborgi, always the opportunist, inserts himself into this one and pushes his way up into P7. Poborgi now, the hard charger, up 5.
Dangerous.
And when with Danush in your rear view mirror, you got to pay attention behind you, and he's looking again as Poborgi looking at McDonald, and it only a matter of time before Danush takes a swing at James.
Looking like some bobsleds right here, because my goodness, they were in sync going through that set of corners. Back onto the modern day Grand Prix version. Oh no, Poborgi locks up, almost loses it completely, but keeps it on track, loses a bunch of positions in time. He's going to have to crawl to make that back. James McDonald still in 6th. Also, I may have misspoke earlier. I knew it ate tires, but I didn't think it would eat tires at all right now in these conditions. Did I misspeak? Maybe. Am I trying to save myself? Yeah, probably. But it's the conditions. It's the conditions, JR.
Absolutely right. It is a fairly friendly track temperature, only about 74 degrees. You see the sun is out. The track temperature creeping up here in Great Britain, but not as bad as we've seen it. Although that long, brutal, painful slide by Poborgi there makes me think that his tires might be going off just a bit. And my gosh, Poborgi's fans are moaning over that. He really had something going. And meanwhile, up front, car 12, one Adam car 12, driving away, maintaining that gap very well behind to Leslie. Leslie, no slouch. He's putting down some fast laps, but not fast enough to reel in Lynn Lotto, who's running consistent low 139s and is the fast man on track. Wait a minute. No, he's not. Remember Stephen Case, the first man to break into the 138 barrier all the way back from P17. Case turns in a 138.9. So Case is saying, don't forget about me. I'm going to win the championship. I am the class of this field. And while you're talking about how fast Lynn Lotto is, I'm going to turn in the fast lap of the race with 7 minutes remaining.
It is very impressive from Stephen Case to be able to make that 138 a reality. Max Lotto is close, right? He's within a tenth of getting into that 138 range, but he's still in that 139.09 range for himself. But yeah, I'm going to say Max Lotto. We're going to exorcise these demons and not on a treadmill.
All right, Lynn Lotto fans. Well, I will, if your boy crashes out here before this one's over, I'll go ahead and put Dylan's personal email and cell phone on the YouTube commentary so that you can reach out to him directly and tell him how you feel about his treatment of your driver in the number 12 car. But taking a look now at Jason Green, who, thanks to Poborgi's problems there with his tires or whatever that was off of the treadmill, is now the hard charger. He is up 5 positions in P8 and all over Adrian Lopez like the plastic on Grandma's couch. He's got about 6 minutes remaining to make something happen, does Jason Green, and Lopez thinks he might have a crack at McDonald as well. A little train forming there behind McDonald for P6 involving McDonald, Lopez, Green, and Jason Cotcher, who's putting in a quiet but solid drive running in P9.
Yeah, Cotcher is he's gained 1 spot since we last talked about him, and he is within the realm of this battle, right? James McDonald still leading the charge of the midfield right now, doing an admirable job. Jason Cotcher, I mean, it's hard, right? When everybody is so compressed, the moment you try and go for that attack, right? The defense sometimes opens up, and then you have a swap of positions, you have some defensive maneuvering while on the attack, and you can't commit fully. Full commitment is needed, and if these cars were a lot faster and had a lot more downforce going around right there, it would be absolutely dangerous through Cops. But then you get to Maggots and Beckett's, and these drivers are trying to push the edge of what is possible, utilizing all of the available track. Cotcher definitely left some of the asphalt up for grabs there and does not have as fast of a run going down the hanger straight as he probably would have wanted. But a great angle here to see just that gap and what he sees. Again, a little bit of understeer, and we see in front. Good racing.
Yeah, good look at that slip angle there by Cotcher, and a great set of shots by our producer, Mike Braun. But back to Jason Green. He's got that gap ahead to Lopez down to about 2/10. And Lopez has fallen off of James McDonald, maybe focusing on defense, focusing on Green right now. But Green wants to make up for that spin, had something going early, and wants to keep clawing his way up, and time running out here. And as we said, tires may or may not be going off right now. You see the sun is out. The track temp still climbing. We're looking at 83 right now. So we've gained about 20 degrees since qualifying, as the clouds have burned off and the sun has come out here.
Man, we gained 10 degrees in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it is shooting up right now. And people from places that are actually hot are laughing at me calling 83 hot, but it does make a difference out here, especially if you have one set of brake markers and have a rhythm going on a cold track, and suddenly somebody cranks up the heat, and Green peeking around, Green applying the pressure to Lopez here. This is one of the tightest, or the tightest battle on the track currently down the stretch, probably 2 or 3 laps remaining, and Green pushing Lopez into a little bit of mistake there, a little bit of lawn mowing. It's going to give Green a good drive down the hanger straight. Look at that slipstream going to work. Watch that gap drop 0.3 now, heading down into Stowe. Not quite close enough, but Green has got to like what he's seeing in front of him, as Lopez beginning to struggle for grip.
And I'll tell you what, James McDonald is liking that gap extending between he and Lopez here, over half a second in the 0.6 of a second range. And the closer that Jason Green and Jason Cotcher, well, I should say Jason Green at this point, gets to Adrian Lopez, the more comfortable it will be for McDonald. But McDonald made a mistake there. McDonald made a mistake. It's opened the door up for Adrian Lopez.
Oh my goodness, R2-D2. Something about Obi-Wan. I can't come up with a quote right now.
It's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
McDonald feeling the pressure right now. He has not only got Adrian Lopez, he's got Jason Green now within 0.8. And McDonald might be feeling the minor tire mild discomfort hour kicking in right now down the stretch. Probably only a lap or 2 remaining. Can McDonald hang on from massive pressure from behind from Lopez and Green? Only time will tell. We're going through Cops for probably the last, maybe second to last time. And you see actually Lopez washing out a little bit there as well. So McDonald hoping for some more dicing between Green and Lopez, hoping that he can get away. But a little bobble there cost him, as the gap that he had built up disappeared in an instant.
I think they're going to see one more lap after this one. Look at all of the drivers just screaming screeching down the hanger straight, side by side. Jason Green, Adrian Lopez, Green down the inside through Stowe, and he gets the move done. Oh my goodness, lovely bit of action.
Yeah, that was a beautiful move by Green, and that is how you make it stick through Stowe. You roll the dice, stick it in there deep and fast, and foreclose your opponent being able to maintain the outside there in order to have the advantage through club. And there is Velasco having some problems there as the tire discomfort hour claims another victim. But things getting a little bit greasy out here at Silverstone. Track temp stabilized about 83. A little humid out here as well, though. So that's a little bit slippy here down the stretch. And gosh, you got to think that white flag has got to be out sometime soon, depending on where that 12 car is on the track.
Yeah, white flag is out right now.
Yeah, it is out. So Lynn Lotto has received the white flag. He's just got to hang on for one more lap.
Come on, man. Do it. Do it for us. For me. For you.
8.5-second gap back to Lynn Lotto or back to Leslie rather, and Leslie enjoying a pretty significant gap behind him to Corwin. So barring some kind of extreme commentator's curse-related disaster, Lynn Lotto is going to snatch the victory right here. It's going to be Lynn Lotto from Leslie from Corwin, and really not a lot of tight action here on the final lap as these drivers have settled into their positions and are just trying to get it home. My feeling is that it's getting pretty slippy out there and that people are kind of getting careful here on the last lap. You hate to stuff it with victory so close in sight.
I mean, at this point, you've got 8 seconds to play with. You don't need to win by 8 seconds. You just need to win by half a second. So back it down, take it easy. Max Lynn Lotto, a couple more corners till you're a winner in SRG F3 action.
Yeah, Lynn Lotto looking for his first victory here. This will be his third podium, and flirting with the boundary right there as Mike, our producer, I heard a gasp of air coming out of Mike's mouth as Lynn Lotto got a little loose there, and that would have been the place to absolutely horrifyingly bin it, but he has done it. Lynn Lotto takes the checker. That is Lynn Lotto's first victory in SRG F4. Here comes Leslie in P2. Corwin will round out your podium in P3. And here comes Mikovits, managed to move up 4 into P5. Good drive by him. McDonald hangs on. Jason Green up 6, followed by Lopez, Cotcher, Navas, Poborgi as they all come streaming across. But pretty solid racing out here. I love Silverstone, and I got to say, this is the proper configuration of a proper British racetrack.
Second place in F4 action yesterday, and unofficially, at least by my counts, clinching the title, and then goes to win the feature here today. An incredible job from Max Lynn Lotto, and he has said hello, goodbye to those commentator curses that I have placed on him. I was a little nervous because I saw him stop on that front stretch, and I don't know if he was just playing with us, if he stopped right before the stripe. Then he stopped after the stripe, so I was comfortable with that. But then the camera changed, and I didn't know if he had exited the vehicle and got a tow, or if he was about to be absolutely demolished by Josh Leslie in behind. That was the gasp.
Yeah, and I thought it was Mike, but it was you. And there is Lynn Lotto still rolling, doing his cool down lap here. They're going to give us our traditional podium photo opportunity here once Lynn Lotto, Leslie, and Corwin can make their way back around Silverstone. As you see them making progress, they'll be back with us here on the old pit straight here in just a second, and we will give you your photo opportunity. We'll see Lynn Lotto perform his first winner's donuts of the season and proceed to interviews right after that. But what a race here at Silverstone. And man, oh man, if you're watching it live and you have friends that missed it, tell them to watch it. It'll be there on our YouTube channel, Slow Motion Broadcasting. In fact, go ahead and subscribe right now to SMB and hit that notification icon so that you don't miss any of our future action. But there they are, Lynn Lotto, Leslie, and Corwin, as we watch Lynn Lotto roast whatever little is left of those slightly uncomfortable rear tires on that F3 car. And What a race. Silverstone never disappoints. Oh, and there are your final results. We'll go ahead and run through those. There is your podium again. Lynn Lotto, Leslie Carwin, then it's De Silva and Mikovits rounding out the top 5. Then it'll be James McDonald, Jason Green, Adrian Lopez, Jason Cotcher, and Jose Navas rounding out your top 10. And Green is your hard charger, up 6, and Navas a close second there, up 5 to finish in P10. Then it is Poborgi from Velasco. Stephen Case pushes back all the way to P13 and turns in the fast lap. The only man to break the 139 barrier is Case in P13. Then it's Eggert, Dillon, Jacob Guyton, Thomas Brashear, and Diego Posada, all 18 cars finishing on the lead lap, it appears. But let's go ahead and take a peek outside here and see who we have.
Well, Max is too busy doing donuts right now.
Yeah, it looks like Max is busy, so we don't see him out there. But I'll tell you what, Dylan, I will bring in James McDonald and let you have a word with him about his fight to hang on to P6.
Yeah, James McDonald with us now in the booth, and James, that was some intense racing there, but you got a little bit of space up until that final 2-lap dash. That was quite wild.
Oh man, I am so sweaty right now. I was chasing Kalen that entire race. It was just an intense experience the entire time. I would get close and then I would fall back, and I was doing really good. And I know that you guys love to talk about the witching hour of tires, and man, in the last 5 minutes, it started to go. So I went off track once. I got a 1X the whole race, just one. And at that point, then I had Adrian in my rearview mirror. I had Green, I knew was back there. I knew I could maybe get close to Kalen again, but at that point, I was just trying to survive. It was a long, tough race on a very flat and slick course.
See, JR and I had a slight disagreement on what to call the tire witching hour in this race. See, I didn't like calling it the tire witching hour when it was 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It popped up to 83 degrees Fahrenheit very quickly. So, did you feel that change like in a moment with 5 minutes to go?
I absolutely did. Yeah, just in a moment. And I also did see the temperature rise, like you said. When the temperature hit 83 and I looked at the clock and I had 5 minutes left, and I lost it once on towards the end before the final sector, there's a left that you have to go pretty fast through in third gear. And if you miss it, you lose a ton of time. But if you go over it, you are going in an awful spot off to the left of the track before the last sector, which is very technical. And your tires are hot, and I missed it right there just once, and it was awful. So, like, the combination of the temperature and the time at which it hit, and then just trying to, race other cars, it was definitely a moment where it was just all of a sudden it was very, very slick.
James, you got one more race left before this season ends. How would you kind of rate your performance? And afterwards, if you want to give a shout out to whomever you'd like to give a shout out to, please feel free.
Well, I would say that I'm pretty happy. I mean, the goal for me was to do a top 10. I don't race F3 a lot. This is only my second race in F3 in like 8 or 9 weeks, so I'm not very familiar with the car. Pardon me. Yeah, a lot of F4. Yes, tons of F4, but the F3 is sort of a new thing for me, and it was it's a lot more powerful. The back end can go very quickly, and you can't slam the brakes like you can the F4. So the F3 is very tricky. So I'm very happy, very, very happy, and I'm sure that the league stewards are very happy with me too, given that I went 0x in the first race and 1x in the second. So pretty happy about that. I'll give a shout out to my poor parents that are sick at home. They're watching the race though. They love watching the races now. This is just a part of their weekly routine. routine to be able to watch their grown son be a true race car driver. So thank you very much for putting the show on. You guys do a great job every time. Thank you.
Well, much appreciated, James, and kudos to the R2D2 scheme as well.
Oh, you noticed! You noticed it. I was so happy.
I noticed it. I very much noticed it, and I especially noticed the rebellion, the rebel helmet, if you will.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Very nice.
Yes. Enrique Vela made that for me, so shout out to him as well.
It looks fantastic. Great job, Enrique. James, congratulations on the 6th place finish. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
All right, that was James McDonald turning in a very solid drive, up 1 to finish in P6. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Josh Corwin. And whoa, getting a little feedback there, Josh, on your end. But congratulations. Looking at my notes, I think this is your first podium. So congrats on the P3 and turned in a hell of a drive there. You had a lot going on around you. You had a lot to deal with, and you managed to keep it cool, avoid problems, and hang on to that P3. So talk to me a little bit about how your experience was at Silverstone tonight.
I enjoyed it. Feedback good? All right.
Yeah, all good.
I had a blast. I was holding position in the sprint and the race, and I was sweating bullets the entire time. I got up to P2, and Lynn Lotto just gapped me. So there's no way I was going to keep on his tail. And then I was watching my relatives, and here comes Josh Leslie, and he's just reeling me in like a big fish. And I was like, you know what? Go right ahead, and I'll just catch a tow. And then all I had to do was hold off Tyrone. And a couple small errors here or there, a couple small, uh-ohs, but I was able to collect it, and it was just all around a great, enjoyable race. That the cherry on top is P3.
Yeah, very good drive. And pro tip, kids, listen to Josh. Pick your battles. He saw Leslie had the pace, led him through, and followed him. And his reward was his first podium of the season. So very good stuff. And another pretty interesting track coming up next week, Josh. I hate to put you on the spot, but have you had a chance to lap at Phillip Island? And do you have any thoughts about how that race is going to go?
I am looking forward to Phillip Island. My last time out there, I think in the F4, I got collected on that big pile up on the first lap. And so I'm optimistic for Phillip Island. I like the track, and I think I can do pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well suited to these cars, and I think it is going to be an excellent race. So, all right, Josh, well, thanks so much for stopping by and sharing your thoughts with us. And as we wrap up, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to tonight?
All the competitors, everyone kept me honest today. Tyrone and Chris Eggert in the sprint, and everyone was always right there, battling hard. All my friends and family watching at home, and obviously Jason and all the admins at SRG, and you guys at Full Motion Broadcasting for making it fun for everyone.
All right. Well, thanks, Josh, and thanks for the kind words. And we'll see you next week down under.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I'll tell you what, Dylan, why don't you check in with Kalen Mikovits, who turned in a pretty good drive to finish in P6, I'm going to say, or 5.
Kalen, you are with us in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it. Over.
Over. I like it. It's like we're talking on a legit radio right now. But Kalen,
over, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Everything we have to say has to be over. Over. Perfect. Over. But all right, really solid drive. I feel like this race was one where if you're in the midfield, you're really compact. You're really fighting. It's hard to attack. It's hard to defend. Just kind of take us through your thoughts on the race.
This race was pretty hard. Showed up. I don't know if you saw my qualifying time, but I think it was like 4 seconds off the pace, and I had to build up to where I got to. But it was a really fun race, especially racing Adrian, because I think he's gotten me a couple times, and I was able to get him back, not cleanly, so give it back to him. But yeah, I was having a bit of trouble because I'm in the house now, and I think we had previously set at some point I reduced the pitch stabilization, because I was in a GT car. But now that you're in an F3 and on this bumpy track, the entire frame of the car was vibrating. So every time I would, lose focus on the horizon and look close, I would start to feel nauseous and I'd lose control. So this is it's pretty hard and pretty hard to stay focused on this one, especially with no markers anywhere. But yeah, it was a good race. Really appreciate everybody that I raced with. It was cool. Over.
Thank you for remembering that at the end, because I forgot. I already forgot at the end of the question and the answer, but you've reminded me. Nonetheless, yeah, this that is an impossible task to kind of deal with when it does feel you feel that nausea. You don't really have that exact frame of reference, and also a good representation of when sim racing is not only in the sim, it is in the real world as well, where you deal with some of the external factors that make it quite difficult at times. Have you ever had something like that before in sim?
No, I haven't had that before in sim. Closest thing is like Assetto Corsa, where the pitch is not stabilized at all. But yeah, I really hats off to anyone who drives Formula car in real life. Like, if you've ever seen like the head cams on YouTube, they're just bouncing, and I think probably the only thing keeping them focused is like extended levels of adrenaline, because I would not be able to see straight.
Yeah, it feels like it would be quite difficult. Well, Kalen, you got one race left, and if you'd like to give your thoughts on how this season has gone so far and provide your shout outs on the exit, feel free to do so. Over.
This season has gone pretty well. I think I thought I had a chance shot for P1, so I was really practicing a lot earlier, but I think I kind of let it go a little bit, just tried to focus more on the fun aspect and being able to race people, because that's been important to me. And yeah, I hope I can have a strong finish next week. Hope to fight on the podium again, and really looking forward to what we can do next season. I hope the list of tracks is better, more suiting my style. And yeah, for shout outs again, shout out to the S&B team. I think you guys have really raised it up a level with calling the broadcasts, and I can feel that you guys like watching our races, and the excitement really shows through, and it's been great, listening to you guys call our races. So big shout out to you guys.
Over.
Yes. I don't know. I gave up on the joke a few minutes ago. I think that's more of a you thing.
Well, Kalen, Dylan never gives up on a joke.
I really don't. And that's it's to the detriment of the broadcast sometimes. So your words are so kind, but just know that my jokes are never given up on. Oh, okay. Man. Okay, over. Well, Kalen, thank you very much for the kind words. It's always a pleasure watching you and the rest of the crew race, and we'll see what you can do next week.
See you guys later.
All right. See you, Kalen. Over.
All right. And it is over for Kalen Mikovic's interview, finishing in P5, putting together a pretty good drive, as he said. Rough qualifying, but clawed and scratched his way up into the top 5 by the time the feature had concluded. And speaking of concluded, we've got one more contestant here on Welcome to the Booth. It is the captain himself, Jason Cotcher. Jason, first of all, how's it going?
Hey, happy Wednesday, guys. Great to chat, hang out. What a race. Wow, I'm like shaking a little bit, still all adrenaline soaked. It was a fun drive.
Yeah, epic stuff. And I'll tell you, this season has gone by so quickly. We're already at week 11. The season will end next Wednesday night at Phillip Island in Australia. And looking back over it, I guess I have a couple of questions for you. One is, we have the grand experiment of the inverted top 6, setting our grid for the future. And what are your thoughts about how that experiment has turned out?
Yeah, I mean, credit where credit is due. That came from you and some conversations behind the scenes about how to spice things up. I know the Tag Heuer Porsche Super Cup guys do. I think they do inverted eight, and it's great for action. It's not a runaway, every time. And with that sixth place spot, we've seen different drivers on the pole here and there. Some guys hid and waited for the storm to pass, like I did, and other guys actually gave it quite the fight. Borden at Daytona comes to mind, and Adrian running so well last weekend at Mexico was really impressive. Yeah, I think that's gone very well. I think it's done everything it was supposed to do. It's spiced up the action. It's made more for some pack racing at the front, and while they're all fighting, even that second 10 can. Gets a chance to stick around. So yeah, great suggestion. Thank you, my friend. And we're definitely keeping that.
Yeah, excellent. It has been really fun to watch, and there were concerns that it might increase incidents and things of that nature. Haven't really seen that, and it also hasn't prevented the cream from rising to the top, as Stephen Case could still win out of P6 pretty much every week, although he had some bad luck this week. So speaking of this week, what were your thoughts about Silverstone? I kind of like this layout. We were discussing earlier that we think this is our favorite layout, Dylan and mine. So what was it like to drive out there today?
Yeah, for the F3, it flows so well. I do actually think that I like it more over the current layout, although it's only slightly different. There's more straightaway in the current layout as it cuts right into the infield after the start finish. But that end of lap, last handful of corners, really, really fun in that the aero and the speed, you're really leaning on that left rear tire with this car. I like this layout as well. I don't know if that's blasphemous, but I didn't get much practice. I was remembering the only other time I ever raced this was with the Weekend Warrior guys in the Spec Race Ford years ago. So it took I got a few laps last night to shake the rust off and kind of straight into it after work tonight. So super stoked on that result. As I've said many times, if you can run in the top 10 of this group, you're doing well. So yeah, great result, fun layout for sure.
Yeah, and keep it clean, keep out of trouble, and don't roll the dice on when there's a iffy return, and that's how you get consistent results out here, and you definitely did that tonight. So very well done, and congratulations again. I know the season's not over. It is winding down. Not sure if I'll talk to you next week, so congratulations on another fantastic season of Formula 3 racing from Sim Racers Group. The quality of the program gets better and better every week, week in and week out, and looking forward to being back with you next season. So again, congrats. And as we conclude, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a labor of love. I think myself as a driver, I'm getting better at managing the tires, and racing in quality helps with the quality. I was running a lot between Green and Proborgi and Velasco tonight, and that's a lot of fun. If you're, you focus and you do get a little practice, and the expectation is to run with those guys, you can't help but get better. So that's great. And for shout outs, always my admins, Tyler, Alex, Steven, as we're growing, it's busier, and they really put in a ton of work that, you don't see on the broadcast. I think sometimes guys don't even see it within the community itself, but they're awesome. The SRG community, obviously, for coming out. The SMB has also gotten better and better. The broadcasting and familiarity with drivers, we're just absolutely loving that. And a special shout out to the Liberty Bell Racing League. All of us at SRG are big fans of everything Amy is doing over there. A very, soft, friendly entry into esports predominantly for female identifying racers is a great thing to support and be a part of. For us, racers are racers, drivers are drivers, and given recent sporting events, it's obvious we have more work to do to be more inclusive into our sports and hobbies for everybody. We're really, really proud of that, and proud to be a part of that and supporting that and encouraging that. So if you got, wives, girlfriends, significant others that look at your rig and think that might be fun, get them in it, get them out there with Amy and the crew at Liberty Bell. It'd be fun to share a new hobby, and they'll have more appreciation for it when they're out there driving it themselves. So lastly, a shout out to my girlfriend, Terry. Thanks for everything. You're awesome. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right, Jason, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure to catch up, and we'll see you next week at Phillip Island.
We'll be there. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
All right, that was league admin, and where was he? About 10th position or 11th position finisher, 10th position in the race tonight from Silverstone. So, folks, we are not just about these fantastic open wheelers here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. We've got a full slate of racing for you, and coming up Saturday, Weekend Warriors Formula Vs will visit Okayama, and on Sunday, the Weekend Warrior Formula Fords will be right back here at Silverstone. Next Tuesday, AMS, that's the American Muscle Series. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's the FR500S Race Ready Showroom Mustang. Dedicated league for those cars will be running at Bathurst. So if you're not sick of Bathurst after the 12 last weekend, tune in next Tuesday and join me for the AMS American Muscle Series 1 week from tonight, of course. More F3 action at Phillip Island. So, wow, what a race at Silverstone. I'll beat that dead horse again. Silverstone never disappoints, and we want to thank you a lot for joining us. But I am J.R. Gregory. On behalf of myself, Dylan Coyle, Mike Braun, and everyone here at SMB, thanks a lot for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are, and hang in there, baby. Friday's coming.